This is the Idiot Entrepreneur Podcast with
John,
and Kelley,
where no one is smarter than you. We're all just a bunch of idiots figuring out business and life one day at a time.
Welcome to another episode of the Idiot Entrepreneur Podcast.
What's up, idiots?
What's up, dummies?
Welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, we feel like dummies and idiots are interchangeable, so if you ever hear us call you a dummy, we also mean you're an idiot.
Yeah, no offense. It's all in love.
Yeah, we're calling ourselves idiots.
We call ourselves
it's
idiots,
meant in a loving way.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it means we're all idiots.
Right.
And that leads into what I want to say.
Okay, what do you want to say?
I want to remind everybody what the point of this podcast is. It's the point of this podcast.
Remind me too. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, what's the point of this?
I don't know.
No clue. I want to remind everybody that what we stand for is the fact that no one is smarter than you. Meaning, if we can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. No one's smarter than you.
Yeah, exactly. And we also, like to share some of our own experiences, our failures, our successes, so that hopefully you guys, won't make the same mistakes, so that you can succeed quicker. We like to share mindset, things that have worked for us, things that we've practiced, and hopefully bring you a lot of value.
Bingo. I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. So what we're telling you will shorten your time frame for success from, let's say, 10 years to 3 years or 4 years. I believe that.
Yeah, if you apply these principles, for sure. And speaking of value, if you do get value out of what we are, discussing, sharing with you guys, please do us a favor, subscribe. I was going to say like it, but it's not Instagram.
Yeah, it's not Instagram,
But do actually like it, like
it.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, if you get anything out of it.
Yeah, but rate us, please, review us. We would really, really appreciate it. And that's something I didn't used to give a lot of weight to. I would just consume content from different podcasters and things like that. And I would never really want to rate it or do anything. And one day I just realized, that's not really fair. Like, I'm taking all this great, amazing free content that has really shaped the way that I think and really helped me so much. And the least I could do is write a review for them and, give them 5 stars. So again, we're not saying that you have to do that, obviously, or that you owe us in any way, but, just kind of think about that. Whenever you're consuming content from people that people spend time making, if you do get value out of it, just, make a quick little review or 5 stars.
Exactly right. I mean, give credit where credit is due.
Exactly.
Across the board.
Yeah, you give value, you get value, and vice versa. So, speaking of value, what are we going to talk about today?
I'm so happy you asked.
Are you?
All right. So today we're going to talk about showing your value from an employer perspective. In our last episode, we talked about showing your value from an employee's perspective.
Are you just making letter sounds?
Employees.
Yeah. So if you listened to our last episode, or if you didn't, go do that right now, I would suggest. But we spoke a lot about providing value as an employee. That's all we talked about, is how if you're an employee, you need to show value. You need to understand what that means. But we want you guys to understand this is not a one-way street here. And as an employer, you absolutely have to provide value, certainly to your customers, but also, as we're going to be speaking about now, to your employees or potential employees. It is absolutely required for you to have a quality staff. So this is huge for hiring and just for running a business in general. If you don't provide value, you're not going to get value.
Bingo. So exactly what Kelley said is about being a two-way street. The relationship must be going both ways. Both the employee, employer, and the employer must give value, or the relationship will not work. So both parties have to give great value for it to be a successful endeavor. So I in the last podcast, we defined what value means literally from the dictionary.
If anybody knows what that is
Yeah,
anymore.
does anybody use that anymore?
Yeah, we didn't actually like look it up in a paper dictionary. It was
online dictionary.
online. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, huh? What the hell's that?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, what do you mean paper? So what value means in this context is, giving or receiving something of importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So basically, anything that someone deems useful, important, or has some sort of worth is considered to be value.
Yeah, and we did also touch on this last episode, but value is relative, right? So what I think is valuable might not be valuable to someone else, and vice versa. So you have to kind of be on the same page with people as to define what that value is, so that everybody knows, okay, this is what we are considering value.
All right. Exactly. It's important to distinguish between what's considered value and what's considered nothing, so make sure you have the definition straight.
Yeah. So, why, John, I'm going to ask you, why is it important to show your value to an employee or a potential employee?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you would consider what you would consider valuable to an employee from the employer's perspective. Number one, I would say, is it shows that you actually care about the people you bring on to your company. That's really, really critical, because it shows that you care. If you have strong values that are exemplified through the people that work for you currently, and the people are about to be brought on. So that's, I think, key number one is showing that you actually really, really care about your people.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, kind of before we get too deep into this, something I want to dispel right away is the idea that, well, I pay them, isn't that good enough? Yeah. And I'll tell you, no, it is not.
That's a good point.
Unfortunately, it's not good enough. So, I mean, maybe, I think that's a little bit of an old school attitude back in the day. Well, I give you a paycheck, so what else do you expect? And, in theory, that should be enough, right? Because, you ask someone to do something, they agree to do it for a certain amount. That seems like an okay exchange. But with the competition there is out there today, competition for employees, competition among different companies, things have really, you've had to up your game if you want the good employees. So you absolutely have to show value, and more value than just, I'm going to give you a paycheck for X, Y, and Z task. You have to show other kinds of value. And that's just a fact. So whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. But if all you're going to do is pay your employees and send them home, you're not going to have a very good culture. And certainly it's not going to be a place that people care to work.
That's right. You're going to crash and burn.
Crash and burn, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, light them up.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah, good points there.
So sorry, yeah. Number two, what's the second reason that you need to show value to an employee?
It shows that, I would say the second point illustrates the fact that the company has an actual purpose for existing.
What do you mean by that?
So let's say, for example, let's say without your people, imagine if you have a company right now and you have 50 people, and because you suck at retaining employees and you treat them like trash, what's going to happen if all your employees leave? You have no business. You're going out of business instantly. If all your employees quit up and leave, that's just one example I'm using. And also the purpose for existing means, what is the real purpose of your company besides selling a product or service? Those are the only two things if you think about it. It's products and service. But what's a real purpose of existing? And the purpose is to provide true value for the people working for you. That's one of the purposes of your company, is providing real value for the people who work for you, making sure that they're well taken care of, that they can feed their family, they can provide for other people, they can do things with their own lives that couldn't be possible without you.
Yeah, and they're not miserable coming to work every day. I mean,
yeah.
Do you want to go to a job every day where, all you're getting out of it is a paycheck? Because that breeds that paycheck mentality, right? If you have the kind of job where it's just, if I know I'm going in, I'm not going to get appreciated. I'm not going to get any extra sort of benefits. Nothing good is going to happen. All I'm going to do is do a crappy task for a piece of paper that I can trade for money. I'm probably not going to give you my best. I'm probably not going to care very much. So the quickest way to have a team full of, paycheckers is to not provide value for your employees.
Exactly. Yeah. The moment your employees come to work for just your paycheck, you kind of lost. Right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's actually true. And we found that out to be very true through hiring really strong people and engaging them the best we can through company culture, and making it very clear to everybody that if you have a negative attitude, you're not going to fit in this culture, and that's the big part of it. Is making sure everybody's on the same page, everybody's happy. That's really key. Another point is, we kind of actually touched on this a bit in our previous point, but is showing what you stand for as an employer. Do you stand for mediocrity? Do you stand for people coming in, clocking in and just clocking out? Do you stand for people? Do you stand for as a company as a company that's just mediocre at best? What do you stand for? What value you're providing the world?
And most companies would say that they stand for excellence.
Yeah.
However, they've not really reconciled that with the employee side of their company. Maybe they provide an amazing product to a customer, but they have a crap work environment and they don't offer their employees anything. Well, that's not, those two can't exist together. So, you're going to end up falling short. So basically, if you stand for excellence, great, but make sure that it's like that 360. The whole company stands for excellence, from the employee side to the customer side. It has to be the same all the way around. You can't just be great in one area and crappy in another.
That's right. Yeah, it all has to synchronize and make sense. Because if it doesn't, if one side's strong and the other isn't, it's going to be a major imbalance that it's going to be really hard to recover from, and that can take months to years to really recover from bad culture.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very hard thing to build, and it's very hard to come back if it starts to suffer.
Very true.
Yeah.
Which is great. So that actually leads us into our next point. What separates your company from the masses of other employers? What really is different? I mean, one thing to ask yourself is, what is really different about your company that makes it different or unique in some special way than any other job that your employee can go out and get overnight?
Yeah, why do they want to work for you versus the 100 other companies that they could possibly work for?
Yeah.
You have to have a differentiator.
Yeah, you have to be different than the masses in some way, shape, or form. Whether that takes place in rewarding your employees for perfect attendance for 30 days, or rewarding your employees for having a great attitude, rewarding your employees for jumping in. What makes you really different? Do you actually talk to your employees at all? Do you make any effort to speak to them, or acknowledge their feelings? If they're happy or if they're miserable all the time, addressing those kinds of things go a long way.
Yeah. So, we're going to get a little bit more into how to give value in a few minutes, and that John kind of touched on those. But, an example, tech companies are really good examples of providing value to employees. And the reason for that is because they are fighting each other over a pool of employees. There's a lot of talent that people search for when it comes to tech. And so they're all battling over this sort of smallish pool of employees, and they have to be better than the next. So that's why they have all these cool amenities and things like that. But yeah, I mean, Google, they have you can work and live on site. They have childcare, laundry services. Apple has a really strong focus on employee culture. I mean, even the, I don't know if Apple does min wage, but like the store employee jobs, like those are highly, highly competitive just to be like a retail salesperson at Apple. And it's because of the culture they provide and the value. So everybody wants to work at Google. Why? Because they provide great value. It's not because you just want to work there because, Google's not going to necessarily pay you that much more than Amazon or that much more than Apple or some other company, but it's not really about the pay when you have other things that you can offer. And that's really important to know too, as an employer. Okay, maybe you can't pay $1 million, but what else can you offer? Are there other things you can offer instead of money? Because I can promise you, once you get into owning a business, you're going to realize it's not all about money.
No,
It's not. I mean, we can pay people a couple extra dollars, but at the end of the day, that's not really what they want. And that's a little bit counterintuitive, but it's true.
That's so true, actually. Yeah, I mean, we've made that mistake before, paying more money, for example, and thinking we're going to get better, higher quality people. That's actually not true.
It's not.
Not at all.
Maybe if there was a massive difference, I mean, if we could pay, I don't know, $100 extra per hour, I'm sure we would get better quality. But when the dollar value is not hugely different, you really are pulling from that same pool of employees. So it's just offering those little extra things. And I mean, now we should probably get into a little bit about what do we mean by value? What can people offer to employees that's going to be valuable?
Yeah.
I mean, you said some before, but maybe just touch on it a little bit more.
Yeah, so giving your employees real value, one of the ways to do that is to provide your employees with actual growth, actual room for growth within their career, within the company. So basically providing them actual opportunity and actually meaning that to the employee. One thing we say at all of our employee interviews is literally every single interview that we have, we tell every interviewee that they have a shot to become a manager, a supervisor, and a salaried employee, director of field operations, for example. They have a chance to grow within their company as long as they show it and really want it and earn it. We have room for growth. That's one way you can give value is expanding that position for whatever they applied for into something a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I think something that kind of goes along with that is it's very important because John said you actually have to mean it. And I think a problem that people have, especially, as newer business owners, as small business owners, is you get too bogged down with too many things. And so maybe you're well-meaning and you do mean you'll offer opportunity, but I promise you when it comes down to it, you're going to forget. You're going to be thinking about other things and your employees are sitting there thinking, well, what about me? What about my promotion? What am I going to get to do next? And they're going to eventually leave when someone else offers them something or they see some other job opportunity pop up because you didn't offer them opportunity for growth. Maybe you meant it, but you didn't. So you have to have a plan. And we have, a very structured plan laid out of, this path. If you want to become this is the path to take. These are the steps to take. And it's on autopilot. It's automatic so that we, when we're busy with other things, that's still running. So they still do have that opportunity because we've actually taken the time to lay that out. And it's not just something that we say, but then don't follow through on.
Bingo. Yeah, that's exactly right. Is the follow-up is so important. It's not even funny. Okay, excellent. So I would say the next point, another example of giving value would be actually listening to your employees and acknowledging employee feedback.
And asking for it.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, is asking for their feedback as in terms of where they feel the company could do better, things that we're doing that could be streamlined better, things that could be improved, or things that are already great. It's always important to provide value by hearing out those people.
Make sure they're heard because that's a common complaint that we hear from not our own employees, but employees, potential candidates coming in that, at their last job, nobody listened, there was terrible communication. And so that's something it's very easy to do, right? That doesn't cost you money.
No.
It might cost you a little time, maybe, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually very easy to do. Shoot out an email or pick up the phone and literally ask every employee, how are things going? Could we improve in any way? And that shows your employees that you really actually give a crap about them, right? Because they're like, your employees will say, oh shit, so-and-so called me and they actually asked me how my job is going. They actually care, and that is truly providing value.
Yeah, I mean, another way that you can provide value, and this is surprising because it's so simple, but literally saying thank you.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that is, I mean,
yeah.
I
I
can't
know.
even tell you how many people feel underappreciated in their jobs. And you wouldn't even have to, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't give people raises, but you wouldn't even have to give a lot of people a raise. You could literally just say thank you, and that is
Yeah,
enough to them. Like, praise is
yeah,
huge. Acknowledging what they did or the work that they're doing is huge, because it's very easy to feel unseen as an employee. And especially for certain kinds of jobs, like with cleaning, it's a physical job,
hmm
and it can get people frustrated pretty quick. So we are always constantly reminding ourselves and others to say thank you and to appreciate their work. So again, it's free. It doesn't cost you any money to say thank you to your employees. It costs maybe some time. It costs remembering to do it, but it will pay off in dividends. So
yeah.
major value in saying thank you.
That's so true. Actually, that's one thing that is easily forgotten. Super easy forgotten.
Yeah, and that's probably the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, is literally say two words, thank you, and that's it. And people, that goes such a long way. We've heard that so many times from our employees. You know, thanks for saying thanks. It feels great to be appreciated. We've heard that a lot.
Absolutely.
You know, from a lot of people.
We have even surveys that we send out asking how many times they've heard thank you or been appreciated for their work in a week, and 100% of them say at least one. I mean, because it's literally that often. We actually have an app that we even use to thank people. So, yeah, that's a huge one.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say, you know, value should be integral or integrated into your core values as a company. One of your core values should be 100% value related. Without question, it should be instilled deep within your company to provide value for the people who are working for you.
Yeah, and that's something that you constantly have to work on. That's not, it's one thing. I mean, of course, everybody's kind of focused on the customer or the end user, the client, whoever, but it's a constant sort of work in progress to provide that value to your employees. But if you forget about the employees for even 2 seconds, and you take your focus off of them and you're just solely focused on making money and your customer, things are going to suffer really, really quickly.
Yeah, and that's actually a common mistake too. If you're the owner or operator of a business and you're just focused on the numbers and the dollars, you're gonna forget one important aspect, which is the people that are doing the work for you.
Right. Without them, you kind of don't have anything. So
That's so true. So that goes into saying, providing real value to your employees, will make you go from an average or good company to a great company. You're gonna go from being average to standing out in the crowd, because that's one thing that all employees look for, and we can tell you that's firsthand from the number of interviews that we had and all of our interviewees saying this is the best interview I've ever had. How many times have we heard that?
every time.
Every single time.
Hmm.
And we hire like twice a week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. Well, and you know why? It's because we start. That's another thing. It's you have to sell your vision to people. You can't just go in and say, "Hey, what are you going to do for me? What's your best skill? What's blah blah blah." Just the same dumb shit that people say at
Yeah.
interviews. That's fine, but that doesn't really tell you anything about the employee. And also, I mean, you just like they want to work for you. You probably want them to work for you, right? It
Yeah.
goes both ways. So you really have to work on selling that vision to them and showing them that value from the moment, from your hiring ad to the interview, like through the application process, through the interview, like it all has to be consistent. But I think, they say that because we sell it to them and we sell them the value that we have to offer, which makes them want to work for us, which is why we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications every
Yeah.
single month,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 100% true. I think to add to what Kelley just said is when you're selling your vision to other people, you not only do you have to sell it to them, you also have to follow through.
Yeah, great point. Don't just sell them a bunch of lies.
Yeah, don't sell them snake oil, because the moment you do that, you're going to be slammed and labeled as a crook. And honestly, you just did someone a major disservice.
And yourself. You
Yeah.
wasted a lot of time, money, energy, all this crap. So yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, John, is
Yeah.
to make sure that you're not just selling them lies, like this has to be true, but assuming it is true, sell them your value, show them this is what it's going to be like to work with us. This is a value we're going to provide you aside from your paycheck. And that's what's going to make you stand out from the 20 other cleaning companies that they could work for.
Yeah.
And I'm saying cleaning, obviously, because that's what we do. But,
right.
You know, whatever you do, a million other people do it too. So you whether you know your competition or not, you've got to stand out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's to your benefit to be the black sheep in regards to providing value. I mean, the bottom line here is provide real value. You're going to see real results with the people working for you.
Yeah. This is honestly, aside from sort of the hiring myths that we talked about in another episode, which if you didn't listen to that, I would suggest checking it out. But this is probably one of the best hiring secrets, so to speak. I don't know if it's a secret, but it's like one of the probably the best way to get the best employees is literally just offering value, offering more than what the average is going to offer.
Exactly. And actually just showing people, face to face that you actually care. And that goes literally miles ahead of, in terms of progress. People love you for it, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you know what time I think it is?
It's the idiot fact of the day.
Yeah, guys. So it's time for the idiot fact of the day.
This is an interesting one. This
is pretty funny, actually. So
you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, you can do the honors.
All right. You found it. So today's idiot fact of the day, guys. Are you ready? It's the possibility of dying on your way to buy a lottery ticket is actually higher than the possibility of actually winning the damn lottery.
So now if you don't feel like an idiot for buying a lottery ticket, then you're a true idiot.
Then you're a true fool. Yeah, so don't go buying lottery tickets because you're wasting your money and you could die on the way there.
Yeah, never mind.
What's that?
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to articulate what I'm thinking.
I see.
When that happens.
Fair enough. Honest answer.
Yeah. Never mind. But yeah, that's pretty funny. So don't buy lottery tickets. Don't spend your money on that.
Yeah. Maybe save your money, save your coins for something that's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Something you have a little bit better odds on. Or bet on dying. That could be.
Actually, yeah.
Rather than spend the money on lottery, bet somebody that you might die on the way.
Yeah, there'd be a higher probability of that you'd actually win.
Yeah. But if you did die, then you couldn't collect the money.
Oh, crap. Then you're kind of screwed. Yeah, can't win there.
Bet them that you won't die, maybe. Anyways, I don't know.
All right, fair enough. I like that fact.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all we had for you guys today. Just to kind of wrap things up, we just want to remind you that if you are an employer, if you plan on being an employer, you have to provide value to your employees. Don't just be focused on your end user. Don't forget about the people that are actually doing the work. And again, value does not have to be monetary. There are so many ways to provide value to an employee that has nothing to do with money, and actually more ways that have nothing to do with money. If you just throw money at people, it's kind of like, if you have a dad who's never there, right? And they just buy you presents all the time and like that's nice, but it only goes so far. You don't feel loved by your dad. You just feel like my dad gives me some cool stuff, but he's never there, right? It's kind of the same thing. If you just throw money at your employees, that's only going to go so far. But the things that have a deeper meaning, finding out what they care about and trying to incorporate that, offering them simple thank yous, appreciation, listening to them, acknowledging them, all of these things, offering opportunity for growth, that is what makes them connected to you as an employer. That's what makes them stay. That's what makes them want to work for you as opposed to somebody else. So again, if you want to have the best employees, provide the most value.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say to add to that.
Yeah, boom. Silence.
Provide value or get stomped on in terms of your having a great culture for your employees. Otherwise, you're going to sink. Provide real value to real people and you'll see dramatic results.
Absolutely. So let's end on that note.
All right. So until next time, guys.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Peace.